All right.
Hello,
Hello.
welcome to FENNEKIN PRs. I'm Gumi. I'm the owner. I don't know anything about low tier, so go ahead.
I'm Tox. I like ZU Ladder, and am an absolute degenerate.
Can
I'm
confirm.
bored. I'm bored, and I'm the actual owner of the server. Nice to
This
meet you.
is true. This is true. It's also 1 a.m., so he needs to go to sleep.
Yes,
Hi.
I'm Arceus. You don't know who I am.
So true.
So true. This is just facts. All right. I say we just jump into it. Board needs sleep. We want to get the shit done. We're excited to say what we have to say. Let's get started. So start. So
Hi.
to start with our methodology, we basically did our own individual rankings and combined them with averages into a 16-man PR list, which is what you see here with our last place, Bella.
Oh, Bella.
Unlucky.
Yeah. All right. I guess I'll start with this one because I'm kind of eager to rip into this team a little bit. All right. So you started out with a dual intimidate coring, Quillfish and Incineroar, as well as Chestnut with being a good physical wall. You had basically no physical breakers that could really deal with them consistently, and then you proceeded to draft no special walls at all to create this absolute abomination of a team.
I mean, fair enough, I guess.
Have we talked about the fact that the only stealth rocker on this team is Mega Camerats?
That's also true.
That seems like a problem
And
to me, just
like,
straight up.
yeah, sure, you have spikes in Chestnut and Quillfish, but they don't always want to run spikes. Like there's like offensive Chestnut sets and offensive Quillfish sets. Cammy is the only thing that will kind of consistently run hazards. Also, their only
Yeah,
defoggers are Ribombi and Drampa.
yeah, and neither of those. I mean, Drampa doesn't have like a weakness to rocks, but it's not a great mon to defog with. And you get Rebombi and you get like sticky web support, but Mega Camel is just still very slow, even with sticky web support. So this is not a team that's going to be like taking advantage of webs to the best of its ability. And it also doesn't really have trick room setters. I
It
think it's
does
one trick room
not.
center is it's Aromatisse, I think, right?
It
That's it.
literally
Yeah.
is. And Aromatisse is going to be wish passing to Chestnut, Cammy, Quillfish, and Incineroar constantly because your physical walls are safe for Chestnut with Synthesis have no recovery.
Yeah, it's a lot of roll compression onto one Aromatisse, and so like that thing's going to be brought to every game, and like it's also extremely passive, so which is not
Yeah.
good.
Give me 1 second. I had some notes extra, so I probably forgot something. Let me grab this. Yes. Yeah, no, yeah, that was all. Yeah. So this team, it's got a all right. Its type chart isn't terrible. Yeah, sure. It's got its ground weak a little bit, but it's also got one decent resist in Chestnut, and that's a good mon. So it's at least not egregious, and also a ground immunity and Dodrio and rock weakness, but like you got two resist there as well. So
Yeah,
it's
and
not a
it
terrible
sucks
type chart.
because like Incineroar is easily one of the best mons in this league. Just it's so versatile, great momentum support and everything, intimidate. But like on this team, it could be doing so much better, and it just does not have the ability to just because of its teammates. It's not
Yeah,
there.
this team is like anti synergy at its finest.
I feel pretty comfortable just kind of any other thoughts on this team. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
as it's number 16.
Great team.
True, true. No, no, you can't. You
Thank
legally
you,
can't flame
Lord.
this team. If you flame this team, I will ban you.
Shit leaves call.
Anyways,
All
moving
right,
on to 15th
next.
spot.
LB. Hello, LB. What the fuck is this type chart? Okay, like this type chart is just not okay at all. Oh my god.
My ground resist is Leafeon.
my my ice resists are also my ice resists are Vaporeon and no. Yeah,
Vaporeon is
Vaporeon.
fine.
Yeah,
Mm.
Vaporeon's fine. Delphox, I don't consider that a real ice resist.
This
Ground,
team, yeah,
ground is cucked because like Leafeon is not a real resist. Dark. Okay, Florges. Florges is real. Florges is real. Okay.
So my two ground types are Zigten and Alolan Dougie, both of which
Okay.
have like 50-50 bulk.
Also, that is also Dugtrio is also their only steel type
Oh my god.
on a
Yeah,
double
so
dragon
yeah.
team.
Oh
On a
no.
So
2 dragon team.
It's fine. You have
so
Dragalge. It's a poison type. It
I,
resists.
I will play devil's
Shut
advocate
up.
here because I ranked this team like in the top half of my draft, and the reason is because I think the offense has good breaking power with the two dragons. I think that their stabs support them really well. So like
Yeah,
this is a
Swallow's
team that like
Zigten is
I do
crazy.
agree.
it's not a team that loses to steel or fairy automatically, but I will agree that it's defensively it's so not good, and
One
also
mistake and you
Dugtrio again.
lose.
Yeah, and Dugtrio is the only stealth rocker. So again, talking about
It's also
having
true.
one mon as a rocker is, yeah, it's
And your
Dugtrio.
defoggers are Florges and Swellow.
Florges is
Yeah,
okay.
Swallowed
I
is
think
yeah,
But Florges as a defogger, when it's gonna have to
it's
pass wishes to Dragalge and
yeah,
everything else on the
yeah,
team, is
that's true.
not.
it's a
This team,
it's role compression on
Yeah,
Florius, which is
it's
not
like
good.
fucking Aromatisse with Bella.
this team wants to play hyper offensive, but then you also have like two Witch Passers who kind of sap momentum, especially Florges, which doesn't get pivot. Um, yeah, you just like I don't know.
Yeah.
You just feel like you're losing momentum a lot, and you don't get into your breakers as often as you want to.
Yeah, and also for the most part, like Wish is this team's only form of recovery. Like, yeah, sure, I guess Swallow gets Roost, but that thing's not gonna be recovering anyway because it's gonna be spamming Specs, Boom Burst, and whatnot.
Yeah, I don't think you ever really bring Bruce Willow here.
Yeah, so like the team's only way of getting their HP back is just through wish, switch. Over and
Yeah,
over and over again. It's going to become predictable and monotonous, and people are going to easily be able to figure you out. Especially considering this is your first draft league.
yeah, and
Oh,
the one thing I will say though about this team is that it's the fastest team combined out of any of the 16 teams. So like there is that speed priority, but then at the same time, it's like if you can't survive long enough to make use of that speed, then what good is it for? So like,
Exactly.
yeah, it's even though I did rank it again top half, like there's definitely a lot of flaws with this team that I think could be abused by a good opponent.
Alright, the dude that I was afraid of being biased again, but I was confirmed by the rest of the rankings. Alright, so GDP.
Yeah, this is actually a really solid team, cause he'll make the opponent rage quit by taking 12 hours between every turn.
Oh dear.
True.
Yeah, well, I will say this: the team was like he traded
Sorry, guys, I was
Golbat for
sleeping.
Scyther, but this is a better. I think this is a better roster than it originally was, like a few
Oh,
days
far
ago.
better, dude. Like the thing is, originally this team was like bottom 2, and I put it in like bottom 5 afterwards. Like it's still not great, but like it's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot better than it was pre-transactions. I'll say that much at least.
yeah, and GDP like again like it's not a great breaking team. It's the speed tiers are really grim. Well, no, I should say no, they're not super grim, but like not enough mons I feel like can take advantage of the speed tiers. The best
Also,
Earthquake solution is Scyther. It's not great.
also, legitimately, how do you deal with like I don't know, like a specs water spam or like any kind of ice spam? Like
Yeah.
I think you do have to face. I think you have to face Leighton actually at some point, and
Oh,
that cloister
yeah,
is gonna
yeah.
be that cloister. Just say your
You
prayers,
mean
bud.
Nightmare made
yeah?
flat.
Also, hazard spam is his removal is Turtonator and Scyther, so hazard spam is also a big problem here.
True. The thing is, Turtonator can be real removal. My brain no work, but Scyther, yeah, no, that's not defog. That's not a defogger.
I feel like the physical attackers are lacking a bit in this
Just a
department as well.
bit.
I mean,
Just a
Cypher is
bit.
5.
Mm,
And Persecutor
yeah,
actually hits really hard. Anyone that's played in PU knows that Persecutor hits you like a fucking truck.
I know
But
it
then again,
does,
yeah,
that's
but
your
yeah,
only
speed
steel
tier.
type.
There's also
yeah,
speed tier moment because that thing has 50 speed.
yeah. This team's gonna want to go for Trick Room a lot, and it does have setters, I believe. I think 2 or 3 setters, but like
Yeah, but like that's not a
it's
real team. That's
yeah,
not like a real
yeah.
team composition. Like it's a good team
It's
mode,
yeah, yeah,
but not a team
yeah.
composition.
Also, I still don't understand why Mega Autono. Because I mean, you have a Diancie, so you have your Fairy. Autono with an item it could run, but besides its Mega Stone, would just be so much better here,
I
and also way
agree.
cheaper.
I agree. It would also give me a chance to take it. Thanks.
Oh yeah, we can't avoid that. This is actually a really good draft now that didn't have Mega Autono on Tox's team.
All right. So, anything else y'all want to say about that one?
Nah, God bless you, GDP.
It is what it is.
You
Thank you
saved. You
for
saved
yeah
him. You have made a
yeah.
noble sacrifice. All right. Bored.
Oh. Yeah, what's up?
All right. So, bored. I want to ask you a question. Why the fuck did you draft no steal?
Because
Oh.
I don't need a fucking steal. Yeah.
Oh, he said it. He said it.
Nah, nah,
Yeah,
okay.
that fairy weakness
What
would have
I
been real
what I
good.
what I actually meant to say is I'm like what 11th place in a 16-man draft. There was no steal I could pick up that would have been solid for me, but they were gone,
All right.
gone,
All right. Fair enough.
fucking vanished.
Still, but you could have grabbed at least something.
What? You want me to draft fucking Kling Clang or something?
Yes.
I'm not, no, no.
Like I've used
I
Clink
think
before. Clink before. That thing can claim, dude.
For real?
I'm really sad that the fastest special attacker here is either Sharpedo or a Scarf Magmortar. I would love to see a little bit faster special attackers. The one thing that I do like about this team that I do think hazard setting and hazard removal are pretty decent. And also there's also a lot of status inflictors on this team, which like if you want to like make sure you have passive damage support, like this is a good team for that.
Also, your pivots are Eel and Articuno.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
like
yeah.
it. Oh wait, no.
Yeah.
Sharpedo has flip turn actually. Never mind. Sharpedo's flip turn.
Oh yeah, we love flip turn
Okay.
Sharpedo taking life orb damage and rocks. It's great.
True.
Yes.
I mean, it could technically be a good like revenge killer or something like that at least, but like, like still, it's like your pivots aren't great here, honestly.
Oh, okay, but can we also talk about board? Was this intentional? Your weakest physical attacker is Articuno at base 85 attack. What the
Oh,
hell?
fucking hell! Holy shit!
This team is
Right.
insane attacking stats. Insane.
That's actually so true. What the fuck? You're right.
Oh shit! What the fuck? No, I never noticed that.
Yeah, again, there's no physical assault vest, so like, I mean, this team could like have breaking power, and I didn't rank this team. I don't think I ranked it super low. So yeah, personally, it seems like a decent team. I don't know why it's down here at 14 or whatever, but like 13.
Board ranks himself last.
It is what it is.
That's
It is what
why.
it is. It is what it is. Yeah, that is true. Board sabotage. This
Like,
team's better than it
I
looks.
ranked him in 8th. Arcanus ranked him in 10th. Board just ranked himself fucking 16th. That is not any of our faults. We promise.
I mean, I like Articuno is a pretty good special defense wall, I think. And then I got
I'm sorry. Did
Gorgeist.
you just call an ice type a wall that isn't fucking analog?
Yes. Yes.
What?
It's got Roost. What's his special defense stat? It's got 125 special defense.
It dies if a single pebble hits it.
No, you're wrong. You've never seen Articuno in action before.
I would pull up
this
the
guy's a
calc right
demon.
now. I would pull out a calc right now to like show like some weak ass rock type using a special attack when it's not supposed to, like special Rhyperior or something like that, killing it. But
Nah, Grimmsnarl is a beast. I got that
Grimstarl
screen.
is great. I
Yeah,
do love
that's
Grimstarl here, dude.
it's gonna
That's
pair
that's
well
good
with
pick.
like Sharpedo and like in Rock. Like that's a really good like last pick. It's really like rounds out the team.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was a good ass last pick. I will say that.
I can't believe he was available, to be honest. But
Yeah, me neither, man. Like I already had my fairy, so I was like I didn't really bother. However,
I mean,
Still.
my thought process was like I wanted to draft things that could cripple the opponent, with like Will-O-Wisp, Runerigus setting up hazards.
and then you're just
Or
gonna go
going
like quick draw,
off
quick
way.
claw, slow row, sweep,
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, but I got nothing else.
belly drum, quick draw, click,
Magmort.
quick
Yeah,
claw,
there we
drain
go.
punch, sweep.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
go.
better fucking watch
All
I'm
right.
in this. I'm feeling it.
All right.
Next
So
up is
next we have Lagonane.
Laguna Nay. Yeah, this was okay. So this is not like a combined ranking is not the worst team. I put Laguna Nay at number 16, and
I put
it
it
sucks
pretty
because
high. I think
it sucks
pretty very
because
high
like
actually.
I love Muckalola. I think Muckalola is a goated mon. I just don't like the fact that this team lacks a lot of raw power outside of Rampardos. Like
Which that's Rampardos.
it, Rampardos, like it is
There's
what it
literally an
is.
entire theorem surrounding why it is bad with its name on it.
Yes, yes. And there's no webs. Oh, I no, no, Slurpuff has webs, but like you have to decide if you want to bring web Slurpuff
Belly
or if you
drum
want to
Slurpuff.
bring Belly Drum, and it's just like you're limiting your options, and you have Rampardos
I
is
like the
my
hazard game
problem.
here though. Like I seriously like that's part of the reason why I put this team at like fucking fourth. Like I put this team really high.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Fortress is really good.
loved
I
the
will
hazard
admit.
game. Like Forretress, Quags, and also Forretress can bring webs. I think.
Quagsire does not get what hazards.
I think it gets rocks, right?
No, no, it does not.
Oh,
It's
no,
the
I'm just
rockers are
dumb.
Rampardos and Fortress.
I am
So
dumb. Sorry.
so the thing is though, like Fortress is like obviously gets like everything except webs, but like you also are forced to bring it most games. So like you can't you don't want to get bopped by like a flamethrower on like a physical attacker is all.
A flamethrower and a physical attack. Yeah, thanks for the idea.
Hmm. Yeah, but the defenses are pretty good. Talonflame can be decent at times. Quagsire is obviously
Talonflame
goaded.
can be.
Buckalola's goaded.
It's pretty much always decent. It's got good versatility all around.
Yeah, yeah, no, and I'm like I'm saying, like as long as you don't run into like a bulky water type or anything, like Talonflame's gonna be like a great pivot, a great stall breaker. It's what it is, you know.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad that this team ranked that low. Like, and not only that, you have Mega Man with like the best speed tier in the game.
I if Mega
If he's
Man got
floating.
HP Ice, if Mega Man got HP Ice, it wouldn't be here. But at the same time, I just don't trust it. I never trusted Mega Man.
I don't know, man. It's a good mod. It's probably a difference in opinion that really got it ranked like weirdly, but
Yeah.
I think it's a good team. The others don't. That's all it is.
I will say this though, like as you can see by like the draft itself, this team doesn't have like a clear like weakness, like defensively, which is
Yeah,
good.
like look at this type chart here. Like,
Yeah, it is pretty solid in that respect. I will give it that.
yeah, that was one of the reasons why I put it here as well. Like, it's got a goated type chart. All right,
Yeah.
next or anything else y'all want to say?
I'm good if Board has anything else to add.
No, I'm trying to stay awake right now.
That's fair. If you fall asleep during the video, we won't wake you up.
It's like I just start play. Just like I start playing just like fucking screeching sounds in the fucking voice chat. I have a soundboard. I will do it.
Wait, what the fuck? The hazard game in this team is cracked. Holy shit.
On Lagunane or
No, Mars.
We're on Mars already. We're on Mars.
Yeah,
so
we're
on
okay,
Mars
okay, okay.
now.
Holy
Yeah.
fucking
I definitely
crap.
remembered Switch. Yeah, I definitely remembered to switch tabs. I promise. Anyway.
Mars has what 5 rockers? 6 rockers? No, 5.
Yeah. I rank this team really. I rank this team second last because like, yes, its hazard game is cracked, but I feel like that's like all it has. Like it does not like fighting types. It's got like jack shit for removal. It's got fucking defog Klefki, which wants to set spikes, and fucking Aerodactyl. So basically, if they set hazards back, what are you gonna do about it? And what's your pivot? Where is your pivot except for
Yeah.
fucking Jolteon?
Yeah,
Like-
this is a team.
Pass.
This team has a lot of good offensive options, but like nothing to really support those options. So like you have to like force predict, and like you don't want to like bring in your arrow or your Jolteon on something because like they're not going to take it even if it's like resisted. It's just not.
Yeah. It's really one of those teams that went to an extreme on one end and then like kind of forgot about everything else, in my opinion.
Mhm. I will say though, I do like the Klefki Seismitoad pairing on defense. It's pretty good.
I do. I do
Um,
like that as well. That's a fucking
Scrafty
good pairing.
and Miltank can absorb certain hits when needed. I would love again like a real wish passer too outside of Jolteon because This team does not have great recovery across the board. Your wisher is Jolteon. Reevaluate.
And also, for the love of God, get a fucking spinner.
Yeah, that would be really dope on this team.
Like, I beg, I plead. Come on. And also, I'm not. I also don't. I'm not a fan of the 100 to 74 speed gap. That's one of the more. That's one of the speed gaps I get on a little bit more because that was a bit important. 90s are pretty important, especially in low tier.
Yeah, it'll be something though when this team brings rain and you see Storm Drain Credilly going for the sweep. It'll be a sight to see.
True. That will be a sight to see. Scarf Credilly.
Scar Credilly, Specs, Thunder, Jolteon. I'm sure Miltank gets some bullshit. It'll be there. It'll be there. Trust.
Trust. That thick fat is gonna be doing wonders in rain. Anyway, but yeah, I do like the defensive pairing of Klefki and Seismitoad. However, other than that, I'm really not a fan of this team. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I ranked it a little bit like maybe eighth. And again, I think that's off the backs of like definitely hazards. And also like, yeah, but like again, like as you mentioned, it doesn't pair fluidly. And also, I believe that this is the first team to suffer an L this season. So,
Oh
not
yeah,
great.
it is because Leighton used fucking Ditto into Klefki into fucking Magneton trapping Klefki. That was honestly one of the fucking most cracked plays I've ever seen from
Yeah,
Leighton. Like, I know Leighton from a good amount of other leagues. That was probably the most impressive thing I've seen from him.
Yeah. We'll talk Leighton at some point.
Yes.
We'll see. Yeah,
we'll see him at some point. So yeah. Anyway. Next.
Okay, maybe AJ.
Yeah, AJ. All right, so I gotta say, what did I fucking say about this? Oh yeah, this team can't set hazards, and also is gonna have a hard time removing them as well because your only defogger has a stealth rock weaknesses and is gonna have to run boots constantly.
Yeah. The hazards and the removal is. Wait, isn't there? There's two removals, right? There's Photom Frost. Oh yeah, both of them need
Braviary, but like
boots.
that's not a real like.
Yeah, Braviary.
Like,
You don't want to run defog on it.
To quote Pickles, you don't say I drafted Blaziken as a defogger.
Right.
That's a fucking amazing quote. That was the day I learned that Blaziken actually got defog. I might run that as like a meme set if I like clinch playoffs or something.
Yeah, I also do not like this team's speed options. Obviously, Persian, Alola, and Rapidash are fast, but like those aren't really your attacking mons that you're bringing most games. So you have to like rely on like Scarf Toxic Probe, Scarf Gardevoir. Yeah.
I disagree with Rapidash. That's a really good SD sweeper in my opinion. It's got a respectable for being a low tier. It's got a respectable attack stat and it's got Swords Dance. It's a good speed tiers, and its stabs are not terrible.
Okay, well, I could maybe see that being the case. I mean, I drafted a similar mon, so we'll talk about that later. Rapidash definitely is not the worst thing about this draft, easily. I just like, please grab a real defogger, so you're not gonna force Rotom out of your wall breaking position with the best stab combination in the game. But yeah, I will say good thing about this team defensively. The Registeel, Gastrodon, Appleton is a 3-mon core that is really good and also is not super passive, which I appreciate. Because Gastrodon can status inflict, Appleton can like lower defenses, and then Registeel has a good curse set. It's like obviously not super threatening, but the three of them together can like destroy certain teams by like whittling them down.
Yeah, I agree. It's a really good team in terms of defense. It just lacks ways to like put pressure on opponents.
Yeah, and Alolan Persian is also like one of your best options against Dark and Ghost types, and Gardevoir and Mega Banette are the best options against Fighting types. Which, like again, like it's not impossible to like switch those things in, but like they get one wrong predict, like it's over.
Respect and for drafting. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Mega Banette is also like a pretty funny mon, and I'm excited to see how it plays in draft.
I actually am currently using that mon where I am currently 3-1. I brought it to 2 games. One of them was an FFL, and I would have brought it there too.
Yeah, Mega Bennett, like some real crazy, like, Swords Dance, Destiny Bond bullshit. It's going to be really fun to
It's also
watch and
got
really
pressures
annoying to
on,
play against. Yeah, yeah.
meaning
As
you
long as,
can't just set up against it for free. So that's what I
yeah.
like about it.
And then, oh, one other thing I don't like about this team though is Registeel again is the only stealth rocker. I feel like there are too many teams where there's one hazard setter, but in this case, Registeel is literally the only hazard setter. There's no spiker, there's no webs. You just have Registeel.
Yeah.
So like this team does not, it's not going to really be able to like force passive damage. So you have to play really well uh, if you're AJ. It is what it is.
All right, next we got motherfucking Hondo.
Hmm. Toronto Talon Flames. All right. I just quick off the bat. Um, there's just not a lot of fast physical attacking power. Escavalier and Beware are just, pretty good mons on their own merits. On this team, though, they are very, very, very needed to like. Beware probably wants to run Scarf a lot of times. Escavalier really should not run Scarf very much. And there's also like not a ton of dependable sweeping power. Like there's some setup mons, but they're not easy to quickly set up.
Also, where the fuck is your pivot?
Yeah, yeah, that's a problem.
No,
Like
There's
you
Rotom,
have,
no.
yeah, we've Motom, but guess what? I switch into a ground type with a grass resist. Like I don't know, like fucking some dumb shit. I don't know, but like I switch into a ground type with like a fire type with like I don't know. Let me show like. You know what? Fuck it. We're using Bella as an example. Bella switches in Mega Canby. What the fuck do you do?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's not great. I mean,
Like,
Jellicent can be a decent wall, but like there's a lot of pressure on Jellicent on this team, and this team does not have like a lot of ways of supporting Jellicent, which is not great. Like Rotom could be good, but like Rotom is also like shaky sometimes.
Rotom is also you're gonna have to bring it every game because that's your only form of pivot. Meaning
Yeah,
that's the only way you can get into your sweepers such as like Sigilif, Salazzle,
yeah,
Beware. That's the only way you're getting into those because I
yeah,
mean, God forbid you hard pivot into Sigilif.
and also like Rotom is probably the only defogger you're bringing. You're probably not bringing Sigilif as a defogger. If you are, like you're wasting it. Yeah, there's just a lot of things about this team. But I will say one thing I do like because I've talked negatively. Even though I talked about Jelson and Rotomo not being a super tight duo, without Creamy, it can get pretty good.
Creamy.
The defensive walls, however, I will say are like don't have reliable recovery because like the Escavalier, the Beware, like they are pretty good defensively, like physical defenses, but like you need to wish pass, and frankly, I'm not seeing any wishers.
Yeah, there's not even one. Not even like a bad wish passer. There's just none.
Yeah, it's kind of rough. Auroras and Stunfisk, well, they're your rockers. Nothing like too great. I don't hate this team. I just think that it's going to be a little bit more tricky to use most weeks. Salazzle can be kind of fun, just because it can toxic everything and do like shenanigans. But yeah,
All right, we got all that.
yeah, I think so.
All
On
right,
to the next one.
the grinders and behinders led by Pickles.
Hmm.
I
The,
fucking love this
the
team.
name which should not be
This team
said.
name. Yeah, yeah, like I'll grind my, I'll grind my.
Oh, okay. There we go.
I
Great
kind of,
start.
I kind of forgot that I was gonna. I kind of forgot that I was like recording anyway, so it's gonna hear my fucking mic anyway. I thought I was gonna get the funny like exit sound in there. All right, this joke was bad. Let's get into it.
Yeah. So I do like the first two, Mega Glalie and Embor. These are good breakers. These are good mons that just put a lot of pressure. The stabs are great. Um, I do think though that like offensively, like this team is just very slow.
Yeah.
And that's something that like again like doesn't doom a team necessarily. But I would have loved to see in particular sticky webs. I would have loved to see maybe even some decent like I don't know trick room support. I mean, I think Yuxi gets trick room,
Yeah, but that's a
I'm not.
95 speed mon.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just not ideal. This is not all ideal. Again, though, like there is some breaking power, there is some good hazard support. There is even like screens with Wigglytuff. If you really want to go like wish screens with Wigglytuff, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I mean you can do it.
Alright, so yeah, I kind of agree with that. Like, this team is just, frankly, it's too damn slow to do much. And, however, I do fucking love the Mega Glalie pick. I
Yeah,
love that
yeah,
pick, dude. Like, this team, it's like I respect a lot of these picks, dude. Like these teams, like this team is gonna have a hard time being switched into. That's the thing. Like,
right.
you're not gonna want to have to switch into Refrigerate Mega Glalie. You're not gonna want to have to switch into fucking like Absol. Like, yeah, sure, that thing's kind of a piece of shit, but you don't want to switch into it.
Yeah,
Embor,
yeah.
you don't want to switch into that one by any means.
It's yeah,
Aggron, God
because
forbid you
yeah,
get IDBP'd. Like, you don't
I
like switching into like
yeah.
half these bonds, and I love that about this team. It's gonna force some hard reads.
Right, and I don't mean to like do like a one-on-one comparison, but like Mega Glalie in this league is basically Mammoth Swine.
Yeah,
You get the Ice Stab, you have Earthquake. If you want to go full nuke, you have Explosion.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
that also an underrated fact about this team is that I think 7 Mons learn knockoff, so your items are not safe against it, and so you can actually rack up hazard damage pretty quickly if you get rid of the boots. I think
Yeah, that's a good point. However, he does
like
have Gligar, which is one of like the better defoggers, and also Tentacruel and Delmise for Rapid Spin. So like,
no, I mean
it's not
like no, I
terrible.
mean his team does
Oh,
well.
his
I mean
tiers.
like
Oh,
yeah,
I'm dumb. Sorry.
his team knocks off all the boots. So like his team can
Oh,
easily like
true.
rack up like passive
Oh,
damage.
holy shit! I just looked at the knockoff. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's cracked, actually. What the fuck? Why is this team down here?
I'm liking it more than when I initially ranked it. I think I ranked it like in the bottom half.
Yeah, alright.
I think the only thing, one last thing before I end,
Go
like
ahead.
Wigglytuff has to do a lot because it's the dragon resist.
The Wish
It's
Passer.
often it's often going to be the dark. It's often going to be the dark resist in case like Guzzlord goes in a lot, and it also is the only wisher.
Yeah.
So
Alright, so, like, Wigglytuff, I actually use that on one of my ZU teams. I know it's not a good wisher. I know it wishes and I know it teleports, but it is not a good wish passer.
right,
I use it, but it is not good. It's on the meme team for a reason.
yeah, it'll be
Anyway,
something.
next. All right, Lazy Banana. This
Ooh,
one was
all right,
extremely controversial. Like, oh my god. Like, I ranked this one
yeah.
like I ranked this one 12th, and like someone else ranked this one like second.
That's me. That's me. I
Yep.
ranked it second. This is my week one
Like,
opponent. So
all right.
I've had to yeah. I'll go first.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of thoughts on this team. I think it's easily the deadliest offensive team, just on the basis that you can run so many different types each week, and like the speed tiers don't look great at first, but when you realize so many things are going to get quick under weather, it's really dangerous. He has some good scarf mons too with like Golurk and Medicham. Yeah, and these weather cores are just so hard because you have to prep for both of them if you really want to like succeed. Even Caracosta learns like Shell Smash and is a decent setup sweeper under the right conditions. This team just gives me nightmares in the prep. So like offensively, it's a monster.
All right. My turn. So, this team, while yes, it has Empoleon as a psychic resist, that is the only psychic resist, one that will take chip every single time that it comes in to resist a psychic move. And unfortunately, this is not Gen 9 slash PLA, so like this thing doesn't get roost or anything like that to like help it deal with that. And other than that, it has no resists. Another thing is like this team has like this thing, yeah, sure, it has a bad psychic resist, but it also has literally no ghost resist.
Yep.
Not
You
even
you
one.
I'll tell you this right now. I'll give you a hint, Lazy Banana. I'm bringing my decision wagon to you. Just giving you a hint right now. because no ghost resist is a bad sign.
Yeah,
Um, the, the, the,
like the thing is, this may be like a personal like tick of mine. I very much get on people's time turns, which is one of the reasons why I ranked this team as low as I did. But
yeah, no
another, go
no
ahead.
ghost resist. Yeah, it's and also Ninetales Alola is your dark resist, which
Yes, that was another. That's
not
another thing.
great, not great. So this is a
Especially
team that's
considering that's your
really
hail
yeah
setter. That's your
yeah
only
yeah
hail setter.
right. And so I will concede, like again, the defenses are not great. The reason I just have this so high is I think that this team is just one of those teams that just outpowers you, and like the turns, like these might be quick battles, but all you need to do is like get that kill count up quickly, and then you can preserve the win if you're lazy banana.
True.
But against some teams though, he will struggle. They will struggle, I believe, totally.
Yeah, like what like if if someone gets like it's like with your battles, I think it's gonna be whoever gets the first kill is objectively slated to win. Like
Right? Yeah, yeah,
like you have basically zero ways to make a comeback, and I do not like that in a team for low tier especially.
yeah. I mean, personally, I like this team in many ways. Like there are some things about it that I envy, like that I would want to draft. But like the defenses are definitely a problem. And so even though I rank this number two, it's definitely not without faults, as you've mentioned.
Yep. All right. Anyway, Rose, this one was also pretty controversial, I think, right?
Yeah, Rose was controversial. I believe I ranked it
You ranked it
fourth.
high,
Fourth.
and this is like
Fourth.
the this is basically the same situation. I ranked it. What did I rank it? It was where was 14th.
hmm
Yeah. All right. So
You can go first. Yeah.
sure. Yeah. I'll start. I'll start. So all right. This team I feel has a very similar problem to Bella's. This team has a little bit of a spin F problem. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You got like Audino and whatnot, but like that's all. And like you're gonna have to run AV on Monza. You don't want to run AV on oh sure, I'm very ready to see that fucking AV Regirock sweep. But like the thing is, this team's got no fucking spinaf, and not only that. Where did I fucking put it? Oh yeah, you got a 90 to 58 speed gap. Again, that's another pretty important speed gap in low tier especially. And
hmm
you have literally no fairy. Not even a single fairy. You
Yeah.
have no way to stop someone from just spamming like a Draco Meteor on you, and just like I do not like this type composition at all.
Yeah. The dragon resist is a Matang, and the knockoff resist is Pangoro, which isn't great because Pangoro wants its item.
Yeah,
And
what's
so,
this
like,
fucking mana?
I agree with a lot of your critiques. I think though, like, the Spadef to me, like, isn't too bad because I think Moltres, Vileplume, and Flygon can do sometimes a pretty decent job. Even like if you want to use all three defensively at a certain point. Um, the thing I like about
Sorry.
this toe is I think the recovery and wish options are really good. I think this is one of the better teams when it comes to like if it has a good defensive matchup, it can abuse that very well.
Yeah.
And I also think that like the faster Mons on this team, like Inteleon, Raichu, Alola, and also like a setup Flygon, those are really deadly. Like those can easily sweep, especially with the Pincurchin.
Oh yeah.
Like this is a team that like I personally believe that like has those three Mons with the Pincurchin, like can do really massive damage and like clear holes for each other. I think that that's going to be a really important thing. Seeing like Inteleon trying to get rid of like the ground types and like the bulky like Spadef types, helping out Flygon and Raichu Alola in that sense. Um, yeah, that's just my thoughts. I do though agree that like the defenses can be a bit rough, especially with the types and no fairies.
Yeah. Like it's more like just me, as you'll see my team in just a bit. You'll still see exactly how mine fits into my rankings. But
Yeah,
anyway, speaking
mhm.
of the people ranking it, are we done here yet? Or
Yeah, we're good.
all right, Arceus, let's talk about your team.
Oh boy, yeah. I really wish that there was a certain person here who will not be named who was very critical but did not explain why of my team. However, I'm more than happy to hear from you, Docs, what you think about the 502 cannon.
All right, let me go ahead and pull up my notes here. I have. All right, so your only thing stopping Psychics is Caparaja. While yes, it can run AV, it's not something you want to have to switch into everything, especially considering its massive breaking potential. Not to mention, like, I really don't like the fact that Caparaja as well as Sandaconda, as well as on a non-sand team, wasn't really going. Like, I don't really like the rock setters here. That's more of like a personal thing. However, I'm
Mhm.
not a fan of like your setters currently, and also you only have Wheezing as your other setter.
Yeah, I think.
However, other than
Mhm.
that, I do actually kind of like this team. Like, I love Gudra on this team. This fucking FDS core, like, of Gudra, Caparaja, Comfey. I do like the way it works, and Decidueye is a great grass for this team. However, there's just like certain points I'm just like I don't see it working out.
Yeah, that's fair entirely. I think I mean I had a lot of different ideas going into this draft, and I wanted I wanted my Fairy Dragon Steel Core, and I got it right away. But then there were certain mons that got sniped from me that like made me really reconsider how I was going to go about this. I think the most disappointing thing about my draft, in my opinion, because I mean I do see what you mean by like the hazard setters. Personally, I do like Sandaconda and Caparasha, but I just wish I had better offensive stabs. I don't have a fire type. I don't have a dark type. Don't have an ice type. And I'm also really relying on Tauros to be the fastest attacker on this team. Which
Yeah,
again,
which is also
I
your
like
only ghost
Tauros.
resist.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's another thing too. I like Tauros as like a sheer force mon. I think it's super underrated, and I'm really gonna have a fun time with it this
I
season.
agree. I got swiped by
Um,
that thing once.
yeah, I think though, otherwise, other than Tauros, my team relies on setup, and so like the setup, whether that's comfy, Decidueye, or something else, like, and there are a few setup options, but like this is a team that is going to like require me to be very patient in game and like make the correct calls. And like I think like I can probably do that. I even though this team went through a lot of iterations, I feel like I felt pretty comfortable towards the end. I think especially having Gallade at the end was really important for me because it rounds out a lot of my weaknesses and gives me really important stabs
Oh, I agree with that
offensively.
hard. Yes.
Yeah, I really needed a fighting type. I really needed a psychic type, and I needed a decent enough speed tier where I can either pair it with Scarf or I can just like sweep some like slower mons. Um, and then I guess the last thing I'll think of is like Sticky Web would have been nice. I think for sure.
All right. So, are we gonna get into like probably one of the most controversial ones?
Yeah, it's so weird because I mean the people who are like the people who ranked it for this document really liked this team, although not everyone did. Like
Oh yeah,
said that they liked this team. So
Pickles. Like he had some good critique. I'll go through his first, just like to make sure we get to that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like we said, like he said, like Whimsicott is going to be very compressed, which I agree with. Like
Hmm.
it's gonna kind of be forced to do a lot of like it's gonna actually kind of suffer from four move slot syndrome. It's gonna want to do like so many different things. However, it can only do one of them because it's Whimsicott. It kind of has to dedicate itself to a role because of the way it is. Like, which yeah, I gotta agree with that, especially considering like it's one of its two only defoggers, the other one being Oricorio.
Yeah,
Which,
yeah.
as
It
much as I
needs.
like that mon, it's not great. I
Yeah,
gotta admit.
Whimsicott also wants momentum. It wants like to support its setup sweepers. It needs to be the water resist. It's a lot of things that it needs to be. And like personally, I think that there's like if you get like a one or two decent roster changes, you can make this team really really good, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But like I do think that the criticism levied against this team is fair, even though I did rank it ultimately number one.
yeah, we both ranked it number one. So let's talk
Yeah.
about why we ranked it number one.
Yeah, Feraligatr and Chandelure, holy shit. Those are insane breakers. Feraligatr needs one Dragon Dance and it can be game over. Like just game over. Like do it mid to late game and it'll run through every team and leave like one mon standing at the end. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
which will leave it for like just about every other Pokemon of this team, like Scarf Sock, Galvantula, or the aforementioned Chandelure, or maybe even
Hmm.
like an offensive Whimsicott. But like, aside, like the thing is, this team is like just really good at breaking through shit. I feel like it kind of does what Lazy Banana does, however, like significantly better.
Yeah, yeah. This is a great team, especially with webs, because again, you can like set up with Feraligatr, but like Chandelure will take advantage of webs immediately. Feraligatr will do it immediately. Drapion can even do it immediately. Like there's also like a decent amount of really good physical attackers. Like Sawk and Drapion,
Oh
like
yeah.
they're not the top of mind threats, but like under the right conditions, they can break teams pretty easily, and they have good abilities to back them up.
Yes. 100%. Yeah. So I think this team is really good and well deserving of the fourth place spot.
Yeah, yeah, and again, like the one thing I would suggest, and I mentioned this at one point earlier, I might have, but like Marowak, Oricorio, and Laren, like you only need 10 Mons in this league. If you get rid of two of those three Mons and get like a better Mon, like a better water resist, I think you'd do way better. And this team would, I think, easily be like a consensus number one, like across the board. But as it
Yeah.
stands, it does have its weaknesses, but I just think that it'll be really deadly, and I
Yeah.
expect this team to make playoffs minimum.
Yeah. I feel like the strengths heavily outweigh the weaknesses.
Hmm. Absolutely.
All right. So now that we're done with that,
Oh,
now we get to talk about the gayest team on planet Earth, the Pallet
oh
Town Plague,
boy.
hosted by yours truly. So
Yeah.
I wanna hear exactly your thoughts on this god degeneracy team.
Yeah, my first note, my first bullet point when I reviewed this team was, "Dear God, the defense." This is an insanely good defensive draft. I mean, we talked about how low tier, like defensive mons can be really good, like Pukumuku at 4. Like hell no, it's a steal.
Yeah, that
Um,
thing that at the beginning of the draft, I literally said to myself, I'm gonna get this thing no matter what type of draft I do, cause even like it's not even a momentum sink. It's got baton pass,
yeah,
but
it's great.
it was a 4 point bulky as fuck water with unaware. Gumi fucked up on placing this mod.
Yeah, this team has really good recovery like options across the board for its defensive bonds: Crobat, Umbreon, Avalugg, even Zatu if you want. Like again, and then Ferroseed if you want to bring Ferroseed, it gets Wish support now with Umbreon. Really good; those two pair really well together. And then the fighting types, you got your Crobat and your Zatu with the quadruple resist. So it's pretty nasty.
It's very very funny.
I will say, because again, every draft has a little bit of a weakness. The
Yes,
one thing I do not like is that Mr. Mime, for some reason, Mr. Mime
is my
is the
only
fairy
fairy
type.
type.
It's the fairy type. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
and don't get me wrong, it can do things. It can do things. It can provide some, again, like some decent defensive support at times. It just doesn't want to do that. Um, and like you don't want it's a fast mon, but you don't want to rely on it for your offense. So like again, like this team is supposed to be a slower, more methodical team, but in the instances where you do need speed, you have to rely on a mon like Mr. Mime, and it's not great.
I do agree with that. However, also I do agree with that, except for the speed criticism, mainly because I have a Durant and a Crobat.
No, 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 and you're right about that. You're right. I think like Crobat will always be like a mon that. Well, no, I shouldn't say always, but will almost always be a mon that's brought. But depending on
Almost
like
always,
how
yeah.
depending on how like Brave Bird is against teams, like you have Brave Bird and Super Fang. But like I think those are really the two main attacking options. And then, oh God, I love Durant a lot, and it's really scary. But I just hate the move. I just hate the ability hustle. I can't stand it. Like if I drafted Durant, I'd probably bring Swarm most weeks, which would make it worse. But like I just get scared whenever I have to click a move with it.
All right, so funny story about that, and a certain person named Evelyn here could very much attest. I have ridiculous luck.
Oh gosh. Oh no.
Ask Evelyn against my game against Fist to Your Doom. The game where I barely even tried and managed to hack some out.
That's disgusting. Yeah, I mean, I'll give you this too. You have good priority with Durant and Surfetched. Both can run first impression, so your team doesn't like auto lose to like a setup sweeper. Like those are two
Yeah.
very very big priority mons that can easily take out a threat.
Especially with like Surfetch's first impression, having 2 stage extra crit.
Yeah,
Great. I
it's
love that.
crazy.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, originally I was not gonna draft Mr. Mime. However, all my fairies got sniped out of me right before I was gonna pick him. So I'm just like, you know what? You have 120 Spidef. You'll do.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I ranked this team like right around my own team. So I do think there's a lot to love about this team.
I think you actually did rank this one third, so it actually came out to your rank.
Did I rank it third? I might.
Yeah,
Oh,
because I
actually,
think you.
I ranked it fifth. Oh no, no, it is third. It is third. It is third.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
ranked it
So
seventh.
yeah, yeah. This team is like, again, not everyone can use it, but the way you understand your own play style, it's going to be very clear that this team is going to be annoying, and I'm really glad it's not on my schedule for the regular season.
Yeah. You got spared. You got spared.
Yeah, I'm really lucky. Anyways, you want to get to number two?
Oh yeah, the guy we mentioned earlier, Leighton.
Leighton, the only person with a win right now, so undefeated, 100% win rates, infinitely more wins than anyone else in this league. Leighton.
Exactly. All right. So the thing is, I swear this dude has the most inconsistent team building ever. Like in another league, I ranked him first in PRs because he had a really cracked team with like very very few weaknesses that I could think of, and then he went into another league where it was Ubers and drafted Granville as his only fairy. He did the
Hmm.
same here, except it's low tiers, so it's like actually okay.
Yeah, right.
But that
Yeah.
was it. But that was Ubers with Granville.
Oh, yikes. Yeah,
Yeah, he's
this
like
team,
super
yeah.
inconsistent. He's either like really close to first or dead last. It's really really weird. I don't know why he built this way. But let's get into why we ranked it here.
Yeah,
So
yeah, go on.
so first of all, you have a great way to deal with steals, which is kind of important though too, considering like shit like Feretris and like Pharisee. Those exist and are annoying as fuck. So you have Magneton to deal with those at any point in time. And also, Ditto is going to be insanely hard to deal with for like more offensive teams.
Hmm.
Cause like there's a lot of them here. Like I'm one of the few defensive teams. And like Noivern, it's got fucking Tailwind. It's got Defog if it wants to. Skuntank can also run Defog with Claydol having Rapid Spin as well as Cloister. Like Hazard Game is great. It's got Cloister with spikes if it wants to run defensive Cloister. If he wants to run defensive Cloister at some point. Claydol with rocks. T spikes with like Kofag and
Yeah.
also Cloister. A whole
It's
like look at his
yeah.
fucking taunt users.
Yeah, it's insane. This team has six taunt users. And I really should not be understated how important Magneton is to this team. So many mons on this team love when fairies are gone, or love when steals are gone. Noivern loves it. Gramble loves it. Serena loves it because it doesn't have to rely on high jump kick.
True.
And then it's just so good because it also limits team building. Like Magneton, you're gonna force mons to run Shed Shell or force steals out entirely. With Ditto, you're gonna like be really concerned that, oh my gosh, my opponent knows all of my moves now, and it just keeps the momentum and the switching back and forth. And then one other thing that I didn't mention yet that I love, the screen support from this team is scary. The screen support,
Oh
because
shit, you're right.
believe it or not, there are some decent screeners with Claydol, and I think
Yeah.
Granbull learned screens. And the reason why it's important is because you have a giant threat at your number one spot, Cloister, that sets up one Cell Smash and it's game over for the rest of your team. It really is.
It's like your team just kind of has it all, and that's why it's up here. Like you
Yeah.
have like you're not like lacking any types. You got a good ass steel type that also eliminates other steel types. A fire type that, yeah, sure, it's not the best, but it's at least decent. You got a good ground type. You got a good ground immunity. You got you got motherfucking Cloister. You got the best one of the best type combos in the game in Skuntank. Your team just kind of has it all, and that's why it's at number two.
Yeah, I will say one negative thing though, just one negative thing that I
Go
can think
ahead.
of. Um, Magneton is a little bit role compressed just because it has to rely on taking a lot of fairy and ice type attacks. You're likely not bringing Magmar to a lot of games, and Cloister can't really deal with a lot of ice type attacks, even with four times weakness because they're special side.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, the Magneton is like probably coming every game, but it doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means that like every team has to be aware of Magneton.
Yeah, because I mean it's fucking Magneton. You do not want to have to deal with that thing no matter what your team is. Unless you don't have a steal, in which case you're bad. Bored.
All right, number one. Number one. May you do the honors.
Kyrax Crooks from Kyrak.
There you go.
And alright, so I think I was the guy who actually ranked this team. No, I ranked this team third.
That was
But
Board who ranked number one because
yeah, it was
I
one
actually
someone
yeah
ranked this number
I
one.
actually ranked this team number 9, but not because I hate it, just because I wasn't sure how I felt about it. But I do like it more as time passes, and that's for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, like I feel like this team's gonna be hard to deal with. Moltres Galar at fucking 14 was a mistake.
Yeah,
That
it's
was a
insane.
flat out. Like, I think that just might be more egregious than 4 point Pikachu.
Yeah, yeah. Weezing Galar is so. I mean, there's a reason I got my own Weezing. It's a worse Weezing Galar, of course, because this
No,
thing's a
not
fairy type.
very.
It gets better. It gets better attacking moves. It's just such a pain to deal with. My goodness. And then on top of that, you have these two insane attackers in Heracross and Moltres Galar. They're not super fast on their own, but once they're boosted correctly, it's like lights out.
Also, this team has one of every type on his team.
Yeah, yeah.
Meaning your
It's the
type
most
chart is
well-rounded.
pretty much automatically insane. And
Hmm.
you have both good, well, semi defensive options. You have both good defensive options and good offensive options. No one wants to deal with a guts boosted Heracross that you can't even like knock off to deal with it.
Yeah.
Like Moltres Galar, you do not want to deal with that thing offensively. Like Superior, yeah, sure, it doesn't get contrary, but like that thing's fast as fuck and makes a great revenge killer.
The Tyrantrum, oh my gosh! Like even unboosted Tyrantrum
Tyrantrum,
Head Smash is gonna annihilate even some steals.
yes. Like, oh my god, the thing is nuts. But like, I just think this team's just like pretty amazing all around. I like this was the one team that I legitimately could not. Well, one of the two. Like Leighton was the other one.
Hmm.
I legitimately could not find a weakness for this team that I could legitimately talk
Hmm.
about and feel confident saying.
I
Except
I
for
will
okay, maybe the
yeah,
rock weakness,
yeah,
but like that's it.
yeah. Oh, I
Rock
will
is not
say
a real type.
yeah. I have two other concerns about this team, which is why I ranked towards the middle initially.
Go ahead.
One is that this team could really use some webs. Heracross under webs would be great. Tyrantrum under webs would be great. Even stuff like Wishy Washy would be great under webs. Second off, the good defensive mons in your team are weak to fire types. Wishy Washy is not a reliable fire switch in. Piloswine does get thick fat, but that thing can still get like easily broken down because its Spadef is not great. And
And
Tyrantrum,
has
you
no
don't want
recovery.
yeah, and Tyrantrum you don't really want to be like rushing into fire type moves because like of
Burn.
coverage. So my only thing is that like fire types could annoy this team. Um, Other than that though, like I agree, it's really solid, and I do regret ranking it like towards the middle. It should be much higher, and it is number one. So
Yeah, it turned out fine either way. But funny story. Speaking of Weezing Galar, initially when this doc released, Chansey was still legal, and
yep, yep.
my draft plan involved me using Weezing Galar and Chansey
Oh
just to
my
annoy the
god,
living shit out of everyone. It was gonna be great.
that would have been legitimately horrifying. I would have considered dropping the league entirely.
Based sees a Chansey. Nope. Just
Yeah,
no.
I mean,
No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this today.
yeah, I mean, props though. Like Kyrak, you did a good job. I mean, I've played in several leagues with Kyrak before. He's the only other person I've played in draft leagues with in this league, and this is another really good team. He's really good at low tier, and I don't want to like gas him up for no reason because I think that like he'll be a huge threat, and this team will really help him along the way.
Yeah, I think he's a great low tier player with a great team. Simple as, like,
Hmm.
I think again, there's like very few things wrong with this team. Like, it just kind of goes off on just about everything, and it just I don't have much else to say. So I guess I could just end it there.
Yeah, I mean, unless the video's ended already. Thank y'all for listening. I hope we didn't trash your teams too hard. I mean, to be
The
honest, I
dislike
found
ratio will
things.
show it.
Yeah. I found things to like about every team, even the worst team. So like, it is what it is. And the games have to be played as the ultimate decider. You can have a great team, you can have a shit team, but at least if you win your games, what can I say?
Yeah, hey, if I don't know, Bella LB GDP board, hey, if you win the season, feel free to laugh at us. I don't know.
Yeah. It will be deserved. It'll be much deserved.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that does it for me. Thank y'all
Yep.
for listening.
All right. Yeah. Thank y'all for listening. I hope to see y'all in games. Bye bye.